and I'm sure you know this, Peter Barnes is still with us, of course, are exempt from quite a lot of the rules and regulations around. I mean, all the stuff you've got to do to get to a C rating in your house. I mean, nobody wants to rent out a house without a roof or smashed windows, you know. It's ridiculous. But to get to this new C rating by 2030 or whatever it is, I mean, you could have to spend £20,000–30,000 on your house to get. I mean, but it's if you wanted to buy the house, you don't have to do that.
Do people still buy houses? Is
that
apparently
a bloke in Rhyl bought one last week.
Oh, just one.
Bit of breaking news.
Yeah, you wonder why the economy is in the garbage.
Indeed. We'll come back to that. Let's look at landlords then. Chancellor Rachel Reeves weighing up this national insurance on landlords' rental income to help plug the $50 billion black hole. And this is just another nail in the coffin of landlords.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. What I really find quite annoying is that this is argued. It was introduced originally by the Resolute Foundation, so anything that they've got their name to, run away from immediately because it's going to cost you a fortune, just as a solid rule. But what I will say is they keep saying that it's passive income. Do you know, in other words, landlords don't do anything. I think that is the most preposterous idea I've ever heard. Given the loops they have to run through, the ones we're about to add to them under the renters bill, which is going to decimate the rental economy. Destocking, as they call it, like the number of people selling up and just not renting out their houses, is a major problem, and it's going to be a huge one here in London in particular. You know, we're already seeing a decrease in the number of rooms available, and we're also seeing landlords be a lot more strict on who they're renting to. So they, you know, you have to have a lot more kind of references and credit ratings and all this kind of stuff because of the extra costs that they're going to have to endure. You know, it's a real problem. But they are more about kind of replacing stamp duty as well. I think they want to narrow capital gains. This is basically because Rachel Reeves has blown up the economy. She has zero economic credibility, and she is only in place because the city is terrified of Prime Minister Angela Rayner and her merry band of warriors and the decimation they're going to inflict even more damage on the economy. It is a well-known fact in the city now that the government is held together by the city because they don't want Angela Rayner.
Isn't that an extraordinary situation?
Just over a year in.
Just over a year in, yes, that's right. We're going to have 4 to go yet.
Yeah, no, I have to keep reminding people of that, and then they tell me not to.
Just a year in. Seems like a decade they've been there, doesn't it? Let's move to this story, Peter. Sir Keir Starmer could end the use of controversial migrant hotels within the next 6 months if he offered a blanket amnesty to asylum seekers from a handful of countries. Well, you know it's got that bad. I mean, you know it's really got bad when Rylan off the telly, who presents this morning, gets involved in the argument and says something so goddamn sensible and completely logical. Nobody could argue with it. I'm sure a few left-wing meerkats who watch ITV during the day got very, very discombobulated. But let's have a listen to what Rylan Clark said on This Morning.
I find it absolutely insane that all these people, one, are risking their lives coming across the channel like that they are. But two, when they get here, it does seem, and I think this is why a lot of Labour voters as well are now sitting there going, there's something wrong here. It seems, welcome, come on in. This is the narrative we're being fed. Here's the hotel. Here's the phones. Here's the iPad. Here's the NHS in reception of your hotel. Here's 3 meals a day. Here's a games room in the hotel. Have a lovely time and welcome. And then there's people that have lived here all their lives that are struggling. They're homeless. Let's not even discuss our homeless. That people living on the streets, veterans, all of this. Now, this isn't me getting on my soapbox because, let me be honest, everyone's going to have an opinion about this and you're going to upset someone some which way. I believe that something major needs to be done about this.
Pretty logical stuff.
I mean, that's
some people have condemned him for that, by the way.
I don't know who the gentleman in the red was, but he looked like he was about to blow a gasket.
That was his mum, Linda, I think.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous. That's the most sensible thing.
He looked like, oh my God, is this really being said on the telly?
Exactly. I find it fascinating that what is a very common sense approach is treated by these people as some kind of scarlet letter, greatest sin ever. But I've said from day one that an amnesty was coming. It's about 33,000 people they want to give temporary permanent leave to, which I don't understand how you can have temporary and permanent in the same sentence, which doesn't make any sense to me. But it's from the top holiday destinations as well. So you've got Afghanistan, Eritrea, Iran, Sudan and Syria. So, you know, all the safe countries where, you know, there's no problems of any sort
Great
whatsoever.
for backpackers.
We don't know who these people are. Come on in, stay here. We'll put you next to a school and I'm sure everything will be perfectly fine. The refugee councillor who has proposed this is stupidity, but it is yet again the lack of self-awareness, and is that halo polishing idea and that kind of, well, we're the morally good ones. We always have good ideas. It is just ridiculous. We've been saying this was coming. It is laying the groundwork because the Labour Party are going to play games with this, because they'll say we shut the hotels. All they did was they moved them into private accommodation.
Yeah.
They didn't get rid of the people that are here, which is what people want to do. And it's the games that the Labour play with the wording, and I think the public have caught on to it. I really do, and I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble over this, because, again, it is, with the Epping hotel situation and all these kind of migrant hotel protests, it's not going away like the government wishes it would.
No, it's not.
And because these are very well-regulated protests, and they're good at the PR game, they can't just write them off either.
And it's kind of toyed with the kind of status quo groupthink belief that the major parties have on things like migration. I bet there was a point in number 10 where somebody said, "So Keir Starmer, don't worry about this. It's niche stuff. It's just a small group of people.
Small group of people.
They'll go away soon." And then you look at the opinion polls of voting intentions at the next election and who's likely to be in number 10, and you realise this is much more than a niche thing.
Yeah.
There's a blanket sense of not just resentment, but jaw-dropping, a shock at what is happening to our country. And implemented by the very people we put into office.
And more importantly, the people who are in office are saying it's not happening. They're not just lying to you, they're gaslighting you. They're saying the things you're seeing, your changing community, your changing neighbourhood, the fact you can't get a GP appointment or a dentist appointment, the schools are full, we're losing money economically, and the economic impact is significant. We're being told that isn't happening. I think that is the despicable bit. You know, it is not just getting up and lying. It is saying what you're feeling isn't real and you're bad for feeling it. Yeah. That you're a racist, all these words that they throw at you now, which are completely meaningless, because, I think everyone's been Hitler since about 2008.
Yes, of course.
I think I've been called it so many times now. I think, it's rather ridiculous. But it's very telling that when these stories all start to come to the forefront, it's the public found out. The way this has been managed by successive governments is super injunctions. Do it quietly. Don't tell the public. So now it is out of control because it is a dump of information and everybody is outraged over it.
And just to give you an idea, Peter, as a final point on this, the appeal against the closure of the Bell Hotel in Epping, or the closure for use of housing migrants. The appeal is underway, so the Home Office are challenging this. And the headline that has come out of that from just this morning, this is fairly fresh news: the rights of asylum seekers are more important than those of Epping Council, and therefore the residents of Epping, according to Home Office lawyers. Making submissions to the Court of Appeal on behalf of Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, lawyers said the relevant public interests in play are not equal and are fundamentally different in nature, which downplays people's concern. They're at it again. Yet again.
Do you know what that proves?
Go on.
Two-tier society. They've literally just argued for two-tier. The government lawyers, on behalf of the Home Secretary, has confirmed two-tier.
Correct.
There is no way anybody can say it doesn't exist now because a government lawyer has used it.
They've not even said it under the light of a silvery moon. This is broad daylight in a courtroom that we can all report on.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. But again, it's the arrogance of this government.
Of course it is. Listen, Peter, we have to stop there. Great to see you.
You too.
We will see you again very soon. Peter Barnes with us on the programme.